Hi, I'm Jackie, and this is my reflection post on leadership. I wanted to share some of my experiences as a leader in the military, as a follower, and how I think it can shape the future of libraries. So, just a little bit about me. I am a military retiree. I have 20 years of IT experience, mostly network engineering with a little bit of cybersecurity. So, these photos were taken on my third deployment. Very special. You can see how happy I am. So, I was part of a 10-man team. We were given the training, we were given the tools, we were given that radical trust. We were deployed to a foreign nation, dropped on this patch of dirt, and given 72 hours to bring up communication systems. Radios, satellite communications, telephones, internet, you name it, secure systems. We got it done in less than 24. It was amazing. It is something that I will forever and take with me. I was junior enlisted at the time, and I was just like, yeah, like I am on top of my game. It was amazing. It was fantastic. So fast forward, I am now been a supervisor for a couple of years and was a team manager. So this was an article that was published. I actually supervised Paris. I cannot take credit for this. I only supervised her for a little bit, but everything in the lectures and the reading that we've been told about leadership is do not wait for that, moment in the sun where you are the big boss. It's not going to happen. Take ownership, find things to take ownership. That is how you start becoming a leader. And that's what she talks about. And it is, hey, if you trust in the training you gave me and you've given me the tools, back off. You know I'm going to make mistakes. I know I'm going to make mistakes. Support me. Help me learn, grow my confidence. Give me that room, give me that grace. And I will wow you because I am hungry for this responsibility. I want to learn, I want to be better, but I need you to give me that space. Absolutely perfect. I will post it at the bottom so you can have time to read it. This photo. So nobody's going to tell you to clean up a cable rack. You might be like me, get fed up with something that has just been accumulating. And you're like, that's it, I've had it. Come to find out, half of those cables did not have any network traffic. Immediate decluttering. Go back in, break it down piece by piece. This is not going to happen overnight. Use your cable management system, go in, start labeling things, because now you can know what you're looking at and you're not like, what is that? Like, I'm just going to put a cable on top of it. No. So again, just taking ownership over things. Okay, this was my face that I made. This was not my team, and this is like leadership. It'll and management, and sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. You just never know. Just as long as you keep working at it. In the hallways of another communications building, I was like passing through. So they, take a sticky and give us feedback. What can leadership do better? What are we getting wrong? Not trusting your people, not given the ability to make decisions. And these are not big decisions. These are small things like when to take lunch, if you can leave a little bit early, if the weather is really bad. Let's see what else. Oh, not empowering others to make those failures and to learn from their mistakes. That's a big one. Mistakes are going to happen. Create a safe environment, have their back, be supportive. Trying to run the shop when I am the subject matter expert and you're not, and then doing my job for me and then complaining that I didn't do my job. Again, absolutely back off. It might take them a dozen, 100 tries. They're going to do things their own way. And it could be that your way was the best way. They might scrap it completely. They might modify it. Give them the time. Be patient with them. They have to learn. Learning through those failures, best thing you can do. Being a subject matter expert. You also have to know your organization. So Air Force and Space Force, really good at creating the breeding ground where people would hoard institutional knowledge because we competed for promotion against our peers at the same time. So everybody wanted to stand out. Everybody wanted to be the one and only subject matter expert. It wasn't until about 10, 12 years in that I was like, okay, I have had enough. Dealt with a lot of personalities, a lot of big egos, and I would have those singular subject matter experts say like, well, I'm the best. I'm like, that's what you said last year. Like, what has changed? Like, if you really want to impress me and anybody else, like, especially the people that are in charge of promotions, you haven't changed. You haven't shown any growth. So I want you to train everybody else. show me that you actually are the expert by training other people, and let's see if they can do like what you taught them. Within weeks, these guys were squabbling over who was going to lead a training session. We set it up for, it was like every Thursday in the afternoon for like an hour, totally doable. It was fantastic. Because the funny thing is how we set up our networks is that we always try to build in for redundancy. We call it, and if we don't, we call it single point of failures. Somehow we kept doing this to ourselves and it was awful. So if you think of kind of basic circuits, you can think of a Christmas light. So you have your series and your parallel. It's generally how people learn. Series, if a light goes out, the whole strand is toast. And a parallel, because you have that like extra line, you can have several lights out, and that most of that strand is good. Again, we built that for our networks, but we didn't do that in our practices, and we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. And then it was finally like, oh, if we shared the knowledge, you mean I could take a vacation and not get called in the middle of the night? How amazing. What a concept. It takes us some time, but we do get there eventually. But this was kind of shocking. And I was like, wow, I mean, I've been here before with micromanagers, but out in the open like that, like, okay. All right. So here's another feedback board. This is first couple of years of Space Force. We had a lot of growing pains. We had a lot of institutional problems. Space Force launched a little too early. We didn't have formal training programs. And so the mission here was defending early missile warning systems. What was happening is that we only had a very few people who were qualified to work on crew. And when I say you're working on crew, you are not in front of one screen, you are in front of many screens for 12 hours. If you're on a night shift, the only people you get to know are the other people on night shift with you. Very isolating, very just the lowest morale I had ever seen. And people who get in the way, whether they're micromanagers or just like, I've always done it this way, I call them fuddy-duddies. And I'm just like, man, like, I'm trying to work with you. And at this point, I had 18 years. I was not afraid. I'm like, I will not just like undermine you. I will say it to your face because I don't have time for this. We had a really great commander at the time, the one who put this board together. He would do talks, Q&A sessions afterwards. And I asked him like, hey, are you willing to meet with all the individual tiers separately, one-on-one, no other presence? And this is because I knew that if he was in the room with like certain levels, they were going to be able to address problems right away. The last thing you want to do is speak out when your supervisor is in that room. And then after the meeting, have your supervisor come up to you and say, do you have a couple of questions? Like, I will never open my mouth again. We got rid of that. And the commander was really receptive to it. Fuddy Duddies didn't like it. Too bad, so sad. Now, unlike these sticky notes, there were some problems on here that I wish never appeared. A lot of quality of life and facility problems. For example, facilities, broken toilet seats, showers that had holes in them that you can see the plumbing pipes that had been busted for a year. Quality of life, things like phone chargers. I already talked about the guys on Midnights. So I know that some of these were theirs, which was, vending machines, ice dispensers, water dispensers, let's see, a toaster oven, an induction stove. I get it. I was there. There's only so many wet, soggy burritos that you can microwave. Reusable utensils. At the same time, like it was awful to kind of see these things, but at least it wasn't as bad as the sticky notes. But I was like, guys, these are so simple. Like we really had to get the commander involved, but we were able to get some of these things done, and it ended up being a better place. Now, so I talked about how training was an issue, and because of that Q&A, because the commander was able to meet with people on one-on-one, dun, 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 trash range. All right, so the team on the left, I absolutely love them. These are like former network engineers. Like this was my jam. The person in the front is Christine Billy. She is a wizard. She is a genius when it comes to things cyber security and cyber operations. So she saw, to be dramatic, the writing on the wall. And rightfully so. This was during a period where Russia and Ukraine, things were starting to heat up. And like I said, missile warning systems, you can look it up, Buckley, Space, Colorado, nothing secret. And she was like, we our crews are struggling. And she was like, okay, what little training these new people have, which are on the right, they know Windows. The system that we support and defend, like we use Linux. She went to the commander and said, this will cost you no money, and I will do this for you. I will repurpose equipment that was set aside for disposition. I will set up a server. I will set up these laptops. I will program a capture the flag cyber event. I will use like Linux Lite. Like I can make this for you. She was also an instructor at Full Stack Academy and like on the side. Like I said, she was a wizard, and we were so grateful to have her. And, I'd be walking by and I'm like, what are you doing in here? Like, that looks like my area of expertise. And all of us on the left, like, she didn't have to ask. We just were like, we'll help you with that. And so here's a training event. It was good. It didn't solve all the problems, but, it got, as she called it, it was the Duolingo of Linux. And so it got these people exposure and practice on the system, because like the equipment that we had in place, like we couldn't even support virtual environments, and it was something better than nothing. And she likes to say, she's like, yeah, I took like a Thanos approach about it. She was like, anybody? All right, I'll just do it myself. And holy cow, did she pull it off. Amazing work. All right, I have some final thoughts on leadership. I realized on my first take I like missed a whole chunk, and I was like, no. And I'm going to be just over 15 minutes. All right. These puzzles, what the hey. So, this was my way of doing icebreakers. I would set these up usually like in break rooms to get people to stop, right? They start working, they start talking to one another. You start making those connections, you start networking. I would like glue these together, put them on the wall. It was pretty funny from time to time. People would, would just come by and brag and be like, I did all of the green, I did all of the orange, or it's like, I did this one piece. Like, know that I put this one piece. And it's like, cool, glad you're here. So, all right, a little bit of a space theme with the last two puzzles at the bottom. I did not do this on purpose. I promise. Like, I don't live, eat, and breathe the military, nor Space Force, nor anything space related. This is just how the cookie crumbled. This is my favorite book on leadership. It's not actually on leadership, but it is a leadership book. Star Trek, Next Generation, Encounter at Farpoint. Captain Jean-Luc Picard takes control of the USS Enterprise. He is meeting his bridge crew, and you get to see him change his communication styles as he's meeting them. It's a great reminder that this is not a one-size-fits-all type of deal. Also, tribes. Yes. Been there, done that, got the postcard. Other things that we would do, this is like military, but again, it does not have to be military specific. And if I haven't said it already, boy, am I glad that libraries are not as intense as the military. All right, so we wear uniforms, and we always like to try to stand out and push out the envelope. So we would do lanyards. Look at me, this is my tribe. Aren't you jealous? Don't you wish you had one of these? Type thing. We were jerks to each other, polite jerks. The other thing we loved in the military were patches. So this is the Everything is Fine dog, modified to be in a space suit with everything on fire. That's just how it felt like. So the piece that I missed the first time, whether or not you're a supervisor or a manager, right? Do not wait for that permission. Even if it's your peers, take a genuine interest in these people. Ask them questions, get to know them. Ways you can like celebrate these people and show that you do care about them. If somebody has like a baby, you don't have to throw a baby shower. Somebody has surgery, set up something that's called Meal Train. You can bake your favorite casserole, bring it over. You can send a gift card. You can send something via DoorDash. That way, that person and their families don't have to worry about meals for a little bit. It's a nice way to say, like, hey, we're still thinking of you. Speedy recovery. Can't wait for you to be back. Birthdays, we would recycle decorations, decorate cubicles, and we would have a box of birthday cards on standby, and we would just pass them around and sign them. Somebody had a major milestone, like you can use the same thing with like marriage. Somebody had a big milestone, hype them up at like the next like group staff meeting and be like, by the way, it's the best there's the best kind of embarrassment to celebrate those people. That way everybody knows. They might hate you for it. That's fine. They'll get over it. But on the flip side of that, if somebody does make a mistake and they're bound to, never address it in public, do it privately behind closed doors, is the fastest way you can watch somebody shut down. So again, because in the military, we love repetition. I've been retired for about 6 months. I promise I am getting out of it. but we learn through repetition. So if you give them the training, you give them the tools, and you give them the space and the support, and you back off, you're going to be amazed. You're going to give these teams 72 hours. They will get things knocked out in 24. They will get really creative in how they do things. And, they're going to make mistakes, but, be there, be supportive, and really be amazed. And what I can say is, like, throughout my time, it was, I don't want to call it rewarding, but it was so amazing to watch these people, grow confident, step into their own, be their own leaders. And it was like, cool, my job here is done. I don't have to worry about you. On to the next assignment. So thank you so much for your time and for listening.